Today is Monday, November 3rd, 2025, and this is Read Through the Bible.
Hi, everyone.
Where are we, Yvonne?
So we're at the Creation Museum today because David and the whole Jackson Hole Bible College student body is there today.
Yep.
And so we came to see David and to see his classmates.
Yep. And we're actually recording this
Sunday night
Sunday
at
night.
our hotel, which is like 10 minutes away from the museum.
Yep.
And it's kind of echoey, so it's just what it is.
Yeah, we tried to find a place in the hallway where nobody was, and we started recording it softer with carpet, and
It didn't work.
no. People were coming out of their rooms thinking, "What? Who are? What's going on here?" I'm recording a podcast. We just said, "No, we'll just do it here in the hotel room." So anyway, we are reading just one chapter. It's 2 Samuel chapter 13. Which is right after 2 Samuel 11 and 12, in which David sins with Bathsheba and seeks forgiveness, repentance before the Lord. And though he's forgiven and right with the Lord, yet there's lots of consequences of his sin. And we just see his life beginning to unravel here, just with his children. And we'll just see that more and more as we see Absalom's rebellion over the next couple days. It's just really difficult. And I think it teaches us a lesson that we can be forgiven of our sin, but we can't escape consequences of our sin.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and that's just the reality of life.
Yeah, he has some pretty awful consequences.
Yep. So 2 Samuel speaks about the rise and demise of David, and the demise comes right now. We're just going to see this downward fall of David. Okay, so chapter 13. Now Absalom, David's son, had a beautiful sister whose name was Tamar. And after a time, Amnon, David's son, loved her. And Amnon was so tormented that he made himself ill because of his sister Tamar, for she was a virgin, and it seemed impossible to Amnon to do anything to her. But Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, the son of Shimeah, David's brother. And Jonadab was a very crafty man. And he said to him, "O son of the king, why are you so haggard morning after morning? Will you not tell me?" Amnon said to him, "I love Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister." Jonadab said to him, "Lie down in your bed and pretend to be ill. And when your father comes to see you, say to him, 'Let my sister Tamar come and give me bread to eat and prepare the food from my sight, that I may see it and eat it from her hand.'" So Amnon lay down and pretended to be ill. And when the king came to see him, Amnon said to the king, "Please let my sister Tamar come and make a couple of cakes in my sight, that I may eat from her hand." It's just interesting here, the words chosen to speak about this friend, Jonadab, says he was very crafty.
Yeah.
Just allusions to Genesis chapter 3, and the serpent was really crafty. And just saying about this food that he was about to eat, and I may see it and prepare it in my sight, that I may see it and eat it from her hand.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, just verbal ties there. I think in some regards, the seduction of sin is a picture here, is what's going to take place.
Okay, verse 7. Then David sent home to Tamar, saying, "Go to your brother Amnon's house and prepare food for him." So Tamar went to her brother Amnon's house, where he was lying down, and she took dough and kneaded it and made cakes in his sight and baked the cakes. And she took the pan and emptied it out before him, but he refused to eat. And Amnon said, "Send out everyone from me." So everyone went out from him. Then Amnon said to Tamar, "Bring the food into the chamber, that I may eat from your hand." And Tamar took the cakes she had made and brought them into the chamber to Amnon her brother. But when she brought them near to him to eat, he took hold of her and said to her, "Come, lie with me, my sister." She answered him, "No, my brother, do not violate me, for such a thing is not done in Israel. Do not do this outrageous thing. As for me, where could I carry my shame? And as for you, you would be as one of the outrageous fools in Israel. Now, therefore, please speak to the king, for he will not withhold me from you." But he would not listen to her, and being stronger than she, he violated her and lay with her.
It's interesting. Unlike the garden, when Eve sinned, here we have a voice that's saying, "Don't sin." Like Adam in the garden should have said, "Eve, don't take, don't eat." And here we see Tamar saying, no, don't do this thing. Don't do this thing. It is wrong. It is bad. And yet still his passions are so strong that he violated her. Then Amnon hated her with very great hatred. I'm not sure why he hated her, just the consequences of his sin. He saw it clearly. It's almost like when Eve ate of the fruit, just instantly, like it was, ooh, her eyes are open, and Amnon's eyes were open. So the hatred with which he hated her was greater than the love with which he had loved her. And Amnon said to her, get up, go. But she said to him, no, my brother, for this wrong in sending me away is greater than the other that you did to me. But he would not listen to her. He called the young men who served him and said, put this young woman out of my presence and bolt the door after her. And she was wearing a long robe with sleeves, for thus were the virgin daughters of the king dressed. So his servant put her out and bolted the door after her. And Tamar put ashes on her head and tore the long robe that she wore. And she laid her hand on her head and went away, crying aloud as she went.
And her brother Absalom said to her, has Amnon your brother been with you? Now hold your peace, my sister. He is your brother. Do not take this to heart. So Tamar lived a desolate woman in her brother Absalom's house. When King David heard of all these things, he was very angry. But Absalom spoke to Amnon, neither good nor bad, for Absalom hated Amnon because he had violated his sister Tamar.
Kind of gave her the cold shoulder.
I think it's interesting, verse 21. David heard of these things and he was angry, but we don't have any record of him doing anything about it.
Didn't address it.
And in fact, he was sort of complicit in this because he's the one who delivered the message to Tamar and told her to go.
Yeah. And after 2 full years, Absalom had sheep shears at Baal Hazor, which is near Ephraim. And Absalom invited all the king's sons. And Absalom came to the king and said, behold, your servant has sheep shears. Please let the king and his servants go with your servant. But the king said to Absalom, no, my son, let us not all go, lest we become burdensome to you. He pressed him, but he would not give him his blessing. Then Absalom said, if not, please let my brother Amnon go with us. And the king said to him, why should he go with you? But Absalom pressed him until he let Amnon and all the king's sons go with him. And then Absalom commanded his servants, mark when Amnon's heart is merry with wine. When I say to you, strike Amnon, then kill him. Do not fear. Have I not commanded you? Be courageous and valiant. So the servants of Absalom did to Amnon as Absalom had commanded. Then all the king's sons arose, and each mounted his mule and fled. It's interesting, like after 2 years, you kind of think that the vengeance would be gone, but it just speaks of how deep runs a vengeful spirit.
Yeah. Verse 30, while they were on the way, news came to David. Absalom has struck down all the king's sons, and not one of them is left. Not quite true.
Yeah.
Then the king rose and tore his garments and lay on the earth, and all his servants who were standing by tore their garments. But Jonadab, the son of Shimeah, David's brother, that's the same guy who gave the advice to Amnon, Jonadab said, let not my lord suppose that they have killed all the young men of the king's sons, for Amnon alone is dead. For by the command of Absalom, this has been determined from the day he violated his sister Tamar.
Yeah, so it's interesting. You tell them really bad news, and then when lesser bad news comes, it's, okay, there's only one son is dead. But it again shows that this is determined from Absalom, from the day that Tamar violated, Amnon violated Tamar. Absalom knew that he was going to get Amnon.
Verse 33, Jonadab continues, now therefore let not my lord the king so take it to heart as to suppose that all the king's sons are dead, for Amnon alone is dead.
But Absalom fled, and the young man who kept watch lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, many people were coming from the road behind him by the side of the mountain. And Jonadab said to the king, behold, the king's sons have come, as your servant said, so has come about. And as soon as he had finished speaking, behold, the king's sons came and lifted up their voice and wept, and the king also and all his servants wept bitterly.
But Absalom fled and went to Talmai, the son of Ammihud, king of Geshur, which I believe that's where Absalom's mother is from.
Okay.
And David mourned for his son day after day. So Absalom fled and went to Geshur and was there 3 years. And the spirit of the king longed to go out to Absalom because he was comforted about Amnon since he was dead.
Okay, here we just see the house of David beginning to fall apart. And chapter 13 is about Amnon who violates Tamar, and then all the repercussions of that. And so if you know those, you don't need to write them down as a summary, or you can write them down later, whatever. But for 2 years later is when Absalom's servants killed Amnon, and then he fled to Geshur, where he was for 3 years. Okay, we'll pick up the story tomorrow in chapter 14. Okay, bye-bye.